First of all, a very good evening to all of you. I hope you all are doing well. As already said, today we are going to have a session about how to create an animated story using Scratch. Now, this is a very interesting topic that we are going to have today. Before getting into Scratch, let's try and understand what an animation is. So we have we're very familiar with this word when we talk about animation. We might have seen in cartoons, we might have seen in games, we might have seen as in movie. But what we don't know is what exactly happens in the background and also how this animation works. So talking a little brief about animation, let me give you an understanding. Animation is nothing but having a picture in motion. It is not in real, which is not in real case. Pictures cannot be in motion in the real case, but what animation does is it gives you an illusion where it seems like the picture is in motion. So that is where the word animation comes from. To specifically tell about animation, this word was derived from French, which means soul. According to them, it is nothing but giving a soul or a life to an image. That is what animation actually means. So we all know what this animation is, but what we don't know is how does an animation work or how do we even create an animation. So that is why we are here today to talk about Scratch. So let me take you to today's topics. So today we will be discussing about Scratch platform, where our agenda is to talk about Scratch and how to set up the Scratch, and then a navigation or a few terminologies that should be familiar with, and a few blocks that is needed to create an animations, and then we will learn bits and pieces of how to create an animation, and finally I would like to show you an created animation piece for you to have a complete understanding. So having said that, let's start with today's session. So we know what an animation is. So how are we going to create an animation is a question. So how are we going to do that? With this particular tool which you are looking at the screen. This is called as Scratch. I believe most of you are already familiar with the term Scratch. But for the people who are not familiar with, today we are going to learn more about it in detail. So Scratch is more like a visual programming tool, which is used to create animations, interactive stories, games, quizzes, presentation, and so on. But in this case, we are mainly going to focus on creating animations only. And to give you a few tidbits about Scratch, the first version of Scratch was rolled out in the year 2003, and it has been developed by MIT Media Lab. So this is a few information about the Scratch that today we are going to learn. And taking you furthermore about Scratch, I would also like to show you a few practically how these things can be done. In order to that, I am going to flip my screen and take you to the Google. Now, since we are talking about Scratch, there are different versions of Scratch. Scratch can come in two different versions. One is the online version, other is the offline version. So online version is for the people who are very new to this, or you rarely use this application to create any interactive programs or interactive animations. Okay, so if you are that kind of a person, please make sure you use Scratch online. Otherwise, if you are a regular user, you know how to use Scratch, you are having loads of fun with Scratch, creating animations, games, and storytelling, then there is something called as Scratch offline version, which is called as Scratch Desktop. You can go to Google, type on Scratch Desktop, and type download. It will be available to you. For now, I would like to show you how to open the Scratch portal first. So let's type in scratch.mit.edu. So when you type it as scratch.mit.edu, it will take you through a page which looks like this. All you have to do is select the very first option that is available on the Google. Once that is done, here you go. The portal is ready. So this is how the platform looks like. So this is a very informative platform and a very interactive platform. It has loads of information, but today I would just like to give you a few briefs on what is important about this platform. As you see, the platform has multiple inputs to it, and there are a lot of information. They have posted sample games right on the home page for the viewers or the accessors to have the complete information. So let's talk about the top tab, which is available on the Scratch. So here, this will take you through. When you click on the Scratch, it will take you.
I would just request you if you can zoom into your screen, as it is a bit hazy for us to view. Zoom, yeah, just, I think that this will be fine. Yeah, this will be fine.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Now, as we were talking about Scratch, I was telling you about the top tabs or the few important tabs that you should keep note of when you're accessing the Scratch. Like the first top tab. Now, this Scratch symbol that you are actually seeing here, this will help you in getting back to the home page when you try to navigate to the other pages. And this is an important block called as Create. So this particular tab will help you in opening an online Scratch portal where you can do everything, do your animations, do your games, do your interactive subjects, everything, all the content can be created using this particular tab right here, which is Create. And next, I would like to take you through the Explorer. Now, when I click on the Explorer, there is more important uses of it. Now, Explorer has almost 48 million projects uploaded onto the portal. Just because Scratch is being used around, it is almost used worldwide by most of the people around the world. There are almost, to be very precise, if I want it to be, there are 51 million people who have registered and been constantly using projects onto Scratch. So all those projects which has been uploaded by all those people are being accessible onto Explorer. And other information is, you can not only access this information, if you have a better projects, you have a better information, you can always upload it onto the portal for others to access it as well. So having said that about Explorer, I would like to take you through the Ideas. Now, Ideas is a place where it'll come in handy when you are a fresher or when you are a new user to it, because this particular tab will take you through the tutorials where it will help you in briefing about how to use blocks, how to add the sprites, how to add the colors, images, backgrounds. All these information are being put into small videos or the tutorials for the access for the users. Having said that, you can also make sure you can have an discussion or a conversation about the topics that you're unaware of across the world. All you have to do is just post in your questions and then wait for the other peoples around the world to know about it. So let's get back to the home page, having said about that. And how is it going to benefit us? For a student, initially the Scratch platform developed for the students in order to learn the programming, but later on the platform turned out to be so very useful that every parents, elders, educators, teachers, everybody started accessing this. So if you are a teacher, there is an very informative information about you for the Scratch. If you can look at the screen right here, it is read as for educators. So this particular tab has all the information that is needed for the educator. There are multiple educators across the globe who are trying to create an animations or an interactive content across the world regarding the subjects or out of the subjects which are very difficult or which is very simple or any interactive topics that they are willing to do. They have created and projects around this and they have posted it on the educators. So if you are an educator or a teacher, please make sure you visit this particular forum to have more content with respect to the subject. Just having said that, let's jump into Scratch and let's learn few details in little more briefing manner. So when I click on the Create, as you can see, when I click on the Create, it takes up to the project as creating project, and now the portal is available. Like I told you, there is a small tutorial always available in Scratch. So if you're lost, you have all the access to the content right on the portal. So for now, I am going to close this and then I'm going to take you to the portal. So having said this, there is a Scratch right on the screen. Now, before going any further, I want you to look at the screen carefully because I'm going to split the screen into 3 different partitions. The first partition is a colorful block. The second partition is the empty space. And the third partition will be a cat picture, which is towards my right-hand side. Now, this particular block, which is my left-hand side, which is colorful and which has more blocks. Now, this is called as a block palette, like a paint palette that we have. This is called as a block palette. The only difference is this palette has more accessible blocks which will be used for programming in the later stages. And now let's move on to the next one. Now this particular space is called as script area. This is where we will be programming, or this is where we will be scripting. We will discuss a little more and further about script and sprites. But before that, now this place where you see a little orange cat standing right there, now this is called as a stage area. So the screen has been divided into 3 different areas. One is the block palette, and then the script area, and then the stage area. Now let's get a little more into the detail. Before we jump into the programming or any further animations, I want you to remember a few basic terminologies with respect to Scratch. The first terminology that we are going to learn is the sprite. So what is a sprite? Sprite is nothing but an 2D graphical entity that can be manipulated. In other words, I can also say it as an general image or a picture. So any pictures or any images, if you put it onto the Scratch, it will be named as a sprite. You can call it as a sprite. So that is what sprite stands for. And the second terminology that we are looking at is called as a script. Now, what is a script? A script is something, it is more like a programming language, but in this case, our programs are block-based. So it is a block-based programming which will tell a sprite or an image to, it will issue an instruction to the sprites, as in what to do, how to behave. Should I change color? Should I turn? Should I move around? Should I actually do some task? So all these information will be given in the script area. So that is precisely this place that we were talking about. And then we have another terminology called as a stage. Now, stage is a very common word that we have heard about. Similarly, here also stage means to put something for a visual, to put something to see for the other person. So here, the white space where the cat is available, now this is called as a stage. This is where all your programs will be running, or all your animations, little tests that has to be done. All these movements will be seen in this particular area. So we're going to stage it for the person to see it. That is why it is called as a stage. And there is one last terminology I want you to remember. Apart from all these, there is another terminology which is called as a backdrop. So the backdrop is nothing but a background. So whenever you're trying to create an animation, there's a few important parts of an animation. First is you need to have a character. In order to create a story or an animation, you need to have a story for it. That is, you need to have an space. For example, if I'm narrating a story, there was a king living in a castle. If this is my story, then I have a king as my character. But my background or a backdrop will be a castle, which means I am giving a complete visual treat in order to complete the story. So that visual story, in order to complete that visual tricks, you will have to have something called as backgrounds. You have to set the backgrounds to make sure that your animations are very lively. Instead of a background, in case of a Scratch, we call it as a backdrop. So that is a fourth terminology that we are going to be using this. There is one more terminology that we will be discussing in the later stages. I hope so far it has been clear, all the terminologies.
Yes, the terminologies, of course, are clear, but the screen is not very clear. That's what our viewers are also complaining. If you can increase it a bit, yeah. If you can zoom in a bit more. Thank you.
I would like to zoom in a little more bit. I hope it is visible now.
Yes, I think it will help now. Please go ahead.
Thank you for bringing it to notice. So like we were talking about the terminologies, there are few terminologies. Now we are all done with that. Now let's try and understand how to add a sprite or how to add an image onto the Scratch or onto your animation. So first, before we start an animation, we need to make sure that we have a character. Now this is a character we're going to talk about. So if you can see the stage area, I am having this particular sprite, cat sprite. So I'm going to draw down, and here I have an option for the sprite. This is the name of the sprite. The name of the sprite is sprite1. And there's something called as X and Y coordinate that we will discuss a little more later. And for now, what I want you to do is I will delete this sprite. Come back to the stage area. Now my stage area is empty. Now I will show you how to add a sprite or how to add an image or a picture onto your screen for your animations. If you can see this image right here on the right corner, it is called as a little cat image is being shown there, or an symbol. So when you click on this, it shows choose a sprite. In order to choose a sprite or an image, there are multiple options given to you here. The first one is you can choose a sprite from the library, which is available, which is already there in the software. The second thing is paint. If you're really good at drawing and artistic, you can develop your own sprite, like you can create your own cartoons. Okay, that you can do it in the paint option. And here next we have a surprise. When you click on the surprise, it is going to just pick a random sprite out of the library, and then it will give it to you on the stage. And the last option is an upload sprite. Now, what is this upload sprite? For example, I have a story, but that story images are not available to me in the library. So what I'll do is I'll go to Google, I will download some images, and that images, I don't know how to upload it onto the Scratch. So this particular symbol or this particular option will help you to do precisely that. All you have to do is click Upload Sprite, download the imaged sprite, and then it will be available to you on the Scratch. For now, I am going to just pick an image which is available in the library. So when I click on that, it will take you to another portal, and I would like to pick the very first sprite which is available. So here, the content is already shows that the one sprite is being selected. When I drag and drop, when I look at the stage, the image is already available to me. So this image name is called as, this sprite name is called as Abby. So if you want the name to be Abby, you can keep it. Otherwise, if you don't want it to be Abby, you can edit it the way you want. So I'm going to just change the spelling. Okay, and then now let's discuss about X and Y coordinate. When I look at this image, so when we are trying to navigate, when we are trying to move, for example, if I want me to move from position A to position B, I will clearly state that please go to position B. But the same terminology will not be understood by a computer. So we have to program it precisely. So how we will teach them, the sprites, to how to navigate between the stage or inside the stage is what this X and Y coordinates talk about. This X and Y coordinates, to make it very simple, consider the stage area as a graph. Now we all know what a graph is. We have X coordinate, which is an horizontal side, and we have a Y coordinate, which is the vertical side of it. Now, in the graph, we have 4 quadrants: the first quadrant, second quadrant, third, and a fourth. This also teaches the mathematical aspect if you're interested in math. Now what I'm going to do is, I am going to click on this sprite and move it across the stage area. And I want you to keep a note on this X and Y numbers. I want you to focus on this X numbers and the Y numbers. Now let's say I am going to put it on the top right corner. Here, both my X numbers have changed and Y numbers have changed. And please notice this signature, the signs, it is both are positive. That means I am putting my image in the first quadrant, where both the terms are positive. Now I'm going to slightly move it to the second quadrant of a graph. It says 1 is negative and 1 is positive. X value is negative, Y is negative, Y is positive. Similarly, the third quadrant, and similarly the fifth quadrant. Now, why do we need to look at this? Because this is how we are going to make sure our sprites navigate through the stage without a hassle. So having learned about the movement and the coordinates, let's get into a little more detail. Now, this is something where I want to hide my sprite and unhide my sprite. I do not want this image to be seen in the initial or the beginning stage of a story. So I will just hide it. And then if I want it, I can just unhide it. So that is the option given. And if I want to change the size, I can just change the numbers here, and the size of the image will be changed. Having said that, the last one is the direction. If I want the direction of an image to be changed, I want this particular sprite to go upside down. All I have to do is change the clock. There you see. Now my image is upside down. Okay, so for now, but I would like my image erect, so I'm going to keep it that way. So these are the few important things that you should know when you're trying to animate. Now that we have learned how to create an character and how to edit the character a little bit, the similar options are available for a background. Now, the second topic that we are going to discuss is how to add a background. Now, this girl in particular, I want her to walk through a garden, or I want her to take a walk in an just a normal space. So let's try and add a background which suits that particular theme. So I am going to scroll down. Here you have choose a sprite. When you go right next to it, there's something called as choose a backdrop, which we discussed. Backdrop is also called as a background. So when you click on this, again, we have similar options. I can pick it from the library, I can paint one, I can have a surprise element, or I can have my own backdrop which is downloaded and I can upload it. For now, I am going to pick it from the library. So I want her to walk in a park. So I am looking at the theme of a park. When you scroll down, you have multiple images, multiple backdrops which is available, which is also categorized according to the needs. So for now, I need a park. So I'm going to pick this. Once I click there, my screen is ready. There you go. I have a character and I have a background. Now my screen or the stage is set. Now what we will try and do is we will try and see how to create an animation out of this. Now all we have done is we have put the stage together. Now our task is to make sure it animates or create an illusion so that it looks like an animation or it looks like it is moving. In order to do that, first we will try to animate Abby here. So I'm going to click on Abby. When I click on Abby, you have to scroll down to this sprite area. Here, right here. So I'm going to click on that. Now this is a place where you will be scripting or you'll be programming for Abby. When you move a little more further, on the left-hand side, you have the palette. So there are multiple options onto the palette here. We have a code section, we have a costume section, we have a sound section out of the palette. For now, let's focus on having the code section. So in this code section, I want Abby to actually move from position A to position B. So how do I do that? With the help of the coordinate, of course, but in order to do that, we have to program. So for any animations or for any stories, there has to be a start point, there has to be an end point. Without that, you will never know when to start or when it is going to end. So that is what this two blocks right here precisely going to show us. If you can see this green flag and the red button. The green flag will help you in starting an animation and the red button will help you in stopping an animation. So that is how we are going to control our animations. So what is the use of this green flag? Apart from starting the flag, it also tells you when you're coding or when you're programming, it also tells you when to start the program or what is to be done when the program is being coded. So let's go back to the codes here. There are motion blocks, there are looks blocks, there are sound blocks, there are event, there are multiple options. Here we are not going to use all of them, but I will definitely show you most of the things which is definitely needed for, in particularly for animation. So let's try and look at the motion. So at some point of time, if you're lost, if you have no idea what this block does is, all you have to do is, for the viewers, I would like to zoom out a little so that you can see the animation happening lively. Okay, so in case you are lost, you don't know which block does what, all you have to do is just click on that and you can see the image on the right hand side moving. Let me do that again. Please pay attention at the image, so I'm clicking here, it moves 10 steps, it takes little steps on towards the right hand side, correct? So this is how precisely we are going to do it. Now, if I don't know what this turn 15 degree blocks is going to do, I'm just going to click on it, she's going to turn 15 degrees. I don't want her in that position, so I'm going to turn back, that is clockwise and anti-clockwise. Now, what we will do is, we will try and program Abby. In order to start a program, there is an important block. For any program, there has to be a specific block which starts the coding or which starts the programming. So this is that block. I'm just going to, this block is available in the control panel, okay? So you have to click the control panel. Above that, there are events, okay? So in the events, you will find a block named as when flag clicked, when a green flag clicked. So this is going to be the start point of any of your animations or any of the games or any of the stories that you are going to program. This is a very important block because this is going to tell you what should happen when I click on the green flag. Should it start? Should it stop? Should it play music? All this information is contained in this particular block. Now I have put my first block. So what I want to do is I want Abby to move from this position to this position. Now Abby's position is currently in the 3rd quadrant, but I want her to move to the 4th quadrant. In order to do that, let me keep this slide here and let me go back to the motion blocks and see what all the motion options is available for Abby here. So when I look at the motion blocks, there are turn, there are move, there is something called as a glide. Now this is a particular block that we are looking at. Gliding is nothing but a minimum or merely like sliding across the screen, a gentle movement across the screen so that it won't be noticed, unlike move button. So what is the use of this glide block? This glide block will help Abby to get from position A to position B. Now when I put Abby in this position, let's start the program and let's see what is happening. So when I click it, she is in that position. She has not moved an inch. Why is that so? Because When you scroll down, her position is already in -121 and -79, which is precisely the indication, or which is precisely the number in the glide block. So what we will do is, I am going to repeat this block, or I'm going to keep this block aside. I want Abby from this position to this position. So all I have to do is drag her, drop her onto the position which I need. Now the position has changed, 135 and 68. Now, when you go back to the motion block and when you look at the glide one, now the numbers have changed. So the best part is you don't even have to put down the numbers. All you have to do is glide her to the position, and you can see here the numbers are already changed. I'm going to put her here, the numbers are changed. Okay, it is as simple as it is. All you have to do is glide, and the block will automatically take the coordinates. So I'm going to put her here in the initial position, and I have put her. So this block says she will glide from position X, or she will glide to X and Y coordinate, which is mentioned, in 1 second. That is what the number 1 depicts as. So I am going to increase the time, make it as 2, make sure that the movement is visible so that you all can see it. Let's run the program and see what happens. There she goes, gliding across the screen. Okay, so that is our first animation that we have accomplished. Now, since Abby has already moved across the screen, I am going to drop her back on the initial position, and I want a little more interesting to happen. Not just stand there or move there, I want her to say something. In order to do that, there is something called as looks block. When I click on the looks block, there are multiple options which will help Abby to communicate or tell what is that she is feeling like, or to put a content that she is feeling like, or informing, or an information that you can add using these blocks. And so I'm going to drag and drop the very first block which is available, which says, say hello for 2 seconds. Okay, so let me start this and see what happens.
Ms. Pratibha, these are the ready-made formats available? Like these say hello for 2 seconds and all? And we can make our own as well.
You can make your own as well. Okay. But these blocks, these which are already predefined, and this will help you in creating your own content.
Of course. Yes.
So having said that, so let me play it again so that you wouldn't have seen it. So let me play it, stop that and drag her to the initial position so you can actually see the changes. So she goes across the screen and says hello. Now, I don't want her to say hello. I just want to say her some other content. So I just want to say, great seeing you all. Okay, so let's see.
We can edit that as well. That's great.
Yes. So all the information can be changed. So I'm going to put her in and then start the program. There she goes. She says, great seeing you all. So now this is a bit of slides, or this is a bit of animation that you can do. Now, let's get into a little more deeper animation. Now, I know that Abby is moving from one place to other. There's one image moving. Can I also make the background move? Is that possible? Yes, it is. And we are going to see how that is possible. Now, in order to code your background, all you have to do is, the steps are very similar. All you have to do is, you have to select the background here and your script area goes clear, which means the space is available only for coding the backdrops, not your sprites. So I have clicked here, and again, I have to go to my programming blocks. So in here, now it is time to learn one more terminology that we were talking about. There is something called as code blocks, and next is a backdrop. So when I click on this tab, it will take me through another place which will look like this. This window is very, very important for us. Let me try and glide down. So this is an editing place where I can change my background as and when it is needed. When I look towards my left-hand side, there is an empty backdrop and there is a blue sky backdrop which we have selected. For now, I would like to delete this empty backdrop. So I would just right-click on it and then delete. So in order to animate, animation is nothing but, or there is something called as costumes. Costumes are nothing but and similar images with the slightest difference. For example, we can call this as one of the costume. An alternative appearance of an image is called as a costume. Now this is a blue sky costume. So I'm going to click it. I'm going to duplicate the costume. So I have two costumes which looks pretty similar. In this case, why did I duplicate it? In order to make sure there is little or slight changes which has been made to it. So I am going to pick the second image. I'm going to scroll down to the change area here. In here, when you can see, there is a blue line appears when I click on an object, which means I can edit each of these options individually. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to click on this particular bush and I am going to change it. How am I going to change? There are multiple options. I can change the color of the bush. I can change the name. I can paste multiple bushes. In this case, I am going to go backward. What does this backward mean? In this case, I am, if you can see this, there you go. So I have removed that particular space. So there is the slightest difference between this image and this image, if you can see. See, if I constantly flip between these two screens, it looks like it has been animated, or it looks like the picture is in motion. That is precisely the idea of creating two different customs and making it different. Now, once this is done, I would like to scroll up and go back to the code area. In the code area, now we will create a program similar to the one which we created for the Abby. So we will go to the events, we will create. Now I want my backdrop to start precisely when Abby starts walking. So I will again put a block which is called as when the green flag clicked. Now once that is done, now here we are going to learn a new block which is called as a backdrop, next backdrop. So what does this next backdrop do is, let me scroll down for you to see. What does this next backdrop do is, it flips between the two costumes which were available. One with the cut bush, one with the uncut bush. Let me show you. See, when I click it, the backdrop automatically changed. But I don't want it to happen on a click. I want it to happen automatically. So what I do is, I go back to the code area and there is a control blocks. In the control blocks, I would like to take a repeat block. Now, repeat block is something, it is more like a loop. If you want something to repeat continuously or to a certain period of time, you use repeat block. It is more like starting and going round and round and round. It is like looping. So that is what repeat block does. When I put the repeat block in the background and next backdrop, I'm going to insert it inside the repeat block because I want that to repeat. What is next? What is next? I'm going to flip between the two images or the two costumes which are available. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to draw back the Abby and start it. Now, you saw a small flashes that were happening here in the backdrop. Why is that? That is because we have put the backdrop, but the speed is too much. We will go to the control block and make sure it waits for a second so that the changes are visible and you can precisely see it. So let's try again. Now that I have added the block, let's try and run the program again and see what exactly happens. Before doing that, let me drop it here and then start. See, the backdrop changed as well as Abby walked. So these are few little animations that you can try all by yourself. Now, apart from this, I would like to also give you little tips on how to animate. For example, let's go back to the costume blocks. And let me slide the screen so that you can all see it. Now, Scratch offers you simple tricks to an animation. When I select a sprite, there are already multiple costumes which is available here. Let me drop the screen a little down so that you can see it. There you go. Okay, so this is Abby. She has multiple costumes here, as it can be seen on the right-hand side. She is thinking, she is happy, she is just standing down. What happens when I continuously click between all those images is Abby looks happy, Abby is doing multiple things as she is walking. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. The other way is, I would like to add another sprite in order to show you that trick. So I am going to add another sprite, which would be a ball. When I click on that, the ball sprite is added and it is also placed in the stage area. Now let's go back to the costumes here and then select the ball. Now the ball is already available. Let me zoom out a little so that you can see the image clearly. Now, there are multiple ball options. If I want balls to automatically change the colors, all I have to do is put all of them and change it to next costume like I showed in the backdrop screen. All you have to do is program it and change the backdrops. So it'll make it look like the ball is actually changing color, like a disco ball. But that is not what we are trying to do here. So I am going to delete all the balls and keep just one content which is available. So I'm going to delete the blue one and the pink one, orange and the green. Deleting is simple. Now, in order to create this animation, like I said, you need to create a costume. A costume is nothing but a slight difference in the image which you already have. So I'm going to duplicate this image. There is a ball E, there is a ball E2. It automatically takes a different name. But that is not if you want to give. If you want to give something else, you can always change the names back here. Now, what are we doing here? We are going to make this ball bounce, or at least look like the ball is bouncing. Okay, so I have selected the second sprite, the second costume. I am going to select this entire ball. Once that is done, I am going to drag it a little down, just changing its position. You can see the position changing here at the background. Okay, so I'm going to make sure it touches the bush. Now I have dragged it. So that is all the changes I have made. But when I flip between the screens, let me have both the screens here. I would like to keep the ball right here for you to visible. Now, all I am doing is changing the costume between ball 1 and ball 2. When I do this continuously in a higher speed and for a long period of time, it looks like the ball is bouncing. So that is the one animation trick that you would actually use it for the simple animations. Okay, so we saw how the ball bounces. In order to do this continuously, all you have to do is go to this code block, and then you have to start coding again. In order to start coding, you have to click the green flag, and then you have to go to looks, where in looks you have to switch costume. Okay, so or you can just plainly give next costume and then go to the control blocks, make sure it is in a repeat, and make sure you have enough time to see the changes which is visible. Now let's try and see how this works. Since the backdrop is in motion, Abby is in motion, the ball is also in motion, it looks like the ball is bouncing. Whenever the ball is touching the ground, the half of the grass goes. Okay, so this is a simple animation. If I want it to look a little more realistic, so I can just change the timing here and then try it again. Okay, so that goes up and down, up and down. So that looks like the ball is bouncing, right? So that is one trick that is needed. And I would like to show you an important another trick. In order to do that, I would like to add one more costume or one more sprite. Now I am going to go to the sprite section. I am going to pick one more sprite. Let's try and pick something which is a little more interesting for you to see. And let's see how this walking animation goes. So I'm going to drag and drop the ball here. I'm going to have the walking image here. Now I have a walking sprite. Let's go back to the costumes. When you go back to the costume, it will show you what are the different animations or what are the different costume it looks like. So when I click on the multiple images, it looks like the person is actually walking. When I put all together in the next costume and make sure you give a proper time, it looks like she is actually walking through the screen. Okay, but that is not what why we are here. Now, what we will do is, now I want you to zoom in the image. There is another trick for the animation. Let's zoom in the image, and if you can see this, there is an important aspect to zooming this image. You can change every single aspect of this image. For example, I do not like the color of this t-shirt. So what I do is I just click and drag and drop. Now the t-shirt has been removed, or it has been the color. You can change the color. See, I can fill the color to some blue or something. Excuse me. And then I can drop it back to her. Now, there she goes. Okay, so apart from, you can also change the position. For example, I am going to pick this hand in particular. You can see the hand, I just moved the hand. So apart from that, I would like to move the outline as well. So I'm going to click on the outline. and then match it with the image. Now, what is the reason for doing this? I have dismantled her hand. It looks horrible, but stick to it. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to change the angle of this hand. For example, click here and slightly move it upwards. Okay. But since you have selected only one item at a time, only the image moves. So I'm going to try it again, and there it goes. Okay. Now my hand is rotated, and I'm going to fix it right here. Okay. And there we go. Again, we missed to pick there. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag it, or simple, take both the pictures together, select both the pictures together, and try and move them and place it here. Looks like, now, there we go. Now the position of the hand is changed. So you can do this by actually waving the hand. Let me show you. This was the initial picture, and this is the edited picture. Now you look like she is putting her hand down to indicate something, correct? You can see it on the animation. So these are the few tips and tricks that will be needed, or that is needed in order for you to create and successful animations.
Ms. Pratibha, just wanted to inform you we're left with last 2 minutes of the session. If you can conclude whatever we have learned. Yeah.
Yes, I think we are in the right time to conclude. Now we have seen how an animation is created, but I would also like to show you an entire picture or entire image of what an animation looks like. When you put all these bits and pieces together and you try to run it all together, you will see an particular image. So let's try and quickly see a small video on how an animation looks like. I have a small project created for you. So let's go to File, and then I have a couple of programs which has been done on my system. So I'm going to load it from my system and then show you. So if you have your already projects which is done, this is how you're going to upload your project onto Scratch. Go to File, click on Load from your computer, select the source file, and there you go. In order to do that, I hope you can see the screen now. And here we go. Now, the idea of showing you this particular animation is for you to get a complete idea of, we have learned the entire steps and bits and pieces. What happens if you put all this together is what you're going to watch.
Today we are going to know about deforestation. Deforestation is a process of cutting the trees for human uses. This can include clearing the land for agriculture or grazing, or using the timber for fuel, construction or manufacturing. Do you know that the most concentrated deforestation occurs in tropical rainforests? Now let's know some advantages of deforestation. It creates usable land for human expansion, like building houses. It creates jobs, like building industries and factories. And now let's know some disadvantages of deforestation. Destroys the habitat of animals and birds. Encourage violence. Let's see some causes of deforestation.
Now,
mining.
I would like to stop right here and take you through that.
I have a couple of questions which are really very important if you can answer
Absolutely.
them. We are left with last minute of the session.
Sure.
How our viewers can get to this thing? It is a browser-based platform?
It is a browser-based platform, but
free or paid or something like that?
This is an open source. Okay. This is an open source, so anybody can access it. But if you would, since it is an open source and you are new to this, you can either use it as an online version or an offline version, as I stated before. Or if you want more information on how to develop information on Scratch, or how to create animations using Scratch, now this is a place where it'll help you in, or it'll give you a course on how to create and proper animations, and it'll help you guide you through the videos. Small videos.
Okay. A few concerns are like it will take a lot of time animating videos here, because it is like we have to take care of so many nitty-gritties of developing the characters, moving their hands and moving their legs and everything like that.
No, everything comes with an effort, correct? So we have put a lot of efforts. As a teachers, we have put a lot of efforts in trying reading a topic, trying to communicate with the students. We make handmade models. So when we are putting all these efforts, a little more effort in creating an animation or a videos, so that students can understand or grasp it to the very end, or they have a complete understanding, I think this effort is needed.
Yes, and the way you have showed us this deforestation video, it was beautiful and it was very well understood. I mean, it was very well explained in that. Last question that comes is like, can we add sound? Can we add audio? Although we don't have time to understand how to add audio, I would leave it to our viewers to, you know, try out this particular platform. But if we can add it.
Sure. You can add your own voice. You can have the recorded versions. You can actually convert text to speech version. I know this is a bit short of period to convey all this information, but if you need any more information on how to add or how to animate or how to do it much better, now this platform which you're looking at currently will help you do that.
Okay, so I request our viewers to, you know, get into this video through our YouTube channel, NCERT Official. It will be available there. Anything in the end you want to conclude?
In the end, I would like to ask viewers, please do not leave it right here. Go ahead, practice it, try it on your own. Only then you will have the complete understanding. So if you have any doubts or any queries, this particular platform which you're looking at, it is an initiative by Government of India, which is a free source again. So this will help you in developing your own content, or all the help is needed is available onto this portal.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Pratibha, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.